That's probably not the same squirrel I've had my whole life, but these are the same weather instruments I've had my whole life. About 44 degrees here on Cape Cod with T-Rex ready to go out the door. This is the same barometer I grew up with, and it's reading 30.3 inches. Sorry, iPhone. Focus, focus. Fair and very dry. Well, it's fair, but it's not really very dry. T-Rex, you ready? Let's go outside. It's very nice here. Beautiful. Blue sky showing through the altocumulus broken layer of clouds. We had a bit of an inversion last night. I think one of the funnest views is that sent focus by Matt Douglas at the Blue Hill Observatory this morning. Bit of an undercast there off looking towards Norwood this morning. And there are some patches of dense fog in an inversion. Cooler air last night. When we got down here at midnight, we could see the moon and Jupiter up there, and it was calm, and there were breaks in the clouds. So, once again, a little bit like yesterday, we have both an inversion and instability. Mount Washington, once again, in the 20s at the base, 30s mid-mountain, 20s top of the mountain. So that's a stable cold layer, and then warm above that. That's stable, but then above that, it's cold again, which is unstable. Anyhow, you can see on the satellite imagery this morning also instability. It looks like almost thunderstorms there south of Nantucket this morning. There was a weak low south of Cape Cod last 2 days. Didn't really see that in the forecast, but it kind of shows up on the surface map once again. Like yesterday, I talked about kinky isobars, a high pressure system, kinky high pressure system, because you see the high that's up there, and also the sort of curve in the isobars down below that. And there's a little low south of New England. There are a couple of boundaries over here, around here. What's that? Is that a cardinal? Are cardinals' tails that long? It looks pretty red to me. So the birds are singing. I heard a Carolina wren just a short time ago. Looks like T-Rex is going over to look for breakfast. Is he up there? He's probably already been let in. We're having breakfast over here, hosted by Kevin. The tradition has been that Dad made the breakfasts, and that's not happening anymore. Traditions change, don't they? But I feel very fortunate that I get to do the Christmas in the same real estate anyway, and pretty much house where I grew up. And this was Bert's garden over here, just following T-Rex. Now it's the brush pile. Every week we've had a windstorm, and our brush pile is getting bigger and bigger. There will be a burn. Anyhow, let's see. Merry Christmas. Where's the snow? There's a blizzard in the middle of the nation today. I didn't see this before I looked at the maps yesterday, that there was such a vast area with the red, with the blizzard warning this morning. And that's in South Dakota, Nebraska. I didn't see too much verifying in the blizzard department when I looked at the observations. And here's the surface map on the left there. That's Wyoming at 7 below zero at Big Piney. And then Chicago is 52. So you have a 59-degree temperature gradient. It's not the strongest low-pressure system, but quite a thermal boundary. And there's a strong high-pressure system in southwestern Canada. So that's the reason for a blizzard warning. Now, that storm is cut off in upper levels of the atmosphere. There's an upper low, so it's not really moving. So it's going to have influence on both sides of it, pulling colder air down into Texas and the Gulf of Mexico, and pushing warmer air from the Gulf of Mexico up into New England. Here's how that's going to play out. I'll just put it right in motion with that low in the middle of the nation kind of sitting there and gyrating, and a couple of warm fronts coming in our direction. It's trying to get colder in the southeastern Canada at the same time, but ultimately it's rain, showers coming in here Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Then the cold air starts pressing in, and low pressure, strong low, goes south of New England on Thursday night, and that's going to pull the colder air back down on the back side of it. So rain will change to snow in our mountains here on Thursday night. And then on Friday, we're getting into the colder air, and it shows another low trying to bring snow right down into eastern Massachusetts Friday night and Saturday. I think that's a lot more believable than 2 days ago when it showed snow more in Mississippi and Alabama than around here. So there is a chance. I always told people growing up around here while watching the weather that it often snowed within about 5 days either side of Christmas. This is a beat up Robert Arthur Way, and I said the plows usually come out sometime between December 21 and December 31. It may happen here late this week and this weekend. And you're thinking about skiing. I had a request. Carrie wants to go to Tremblant. Here's the 10-day snowfall forecast. You can see the snow gradually coming in here Thursday night into Friday, and Tremblant right there, it only shows an inch or two and just a few inches for the mountains of Vermont, but it kind of keeps coming off and on once it comes in Friday night into the weekend. So as for skiing today, it's a pretty good looking view there at Jay Peak just after the Metro Taxi opened. I think that's the name of that lift. Anyhow, there are people skiing today, and it looked pretty nice there at Wildcat with a higher cloud. But then you go over and look, excuse me, that was Jay. And then at Wildcat, here's Wildcat in the fog. And again, on Mount Washington, it's sub-freezing, so you get into that sub-freezing air, and it's not a very fun surface. But most of us are going to be warming up enough that it'll be soft snow and skiing and dry for tomorrow, and then getting a little bit wet on Wednesday, and then Thursday probably starts wet and turns white in the afternoon. That's the goal there. This is the Warren, Vermont 3 to 5 day. How's that, Warren, Vermont? You can see the snow at the very end there on Friday morning, and not too warm. And then the Boston 3 to 5 day. T-Rex, let's go this way. Yeah, that's all. Tied up. Boston 3 to 5 day shows the blue line, the dew point, and the temperature coming together with a break of sun today, and then fog again tonight, and then a break of sun tomorrow, but mostly foggy into Wednesday. Not a very bright week. Last week was one of the brightest weeks you'll ever have for a winter solstice, so this week we're going to have a mostly cloudy week, and the rain comes in on Wednesday night, and parts of New England, southern New England especially, may get more than a half inch of rain, but we're not looking at the kind of warm up with flooding rains like we had before. So this is no repeat of that last Monday storm. All right, Kevin's in there making breakfast. Jenny's waiting, and kind of a quiet Christmas for us this year. Went up to Beverly, to the hills of Beverly. That's their name, and that was quite enjoyable with the family there. Not really that fun driving north when you want to ultimately end up south, but lamenting the precipitation when we went into Boston. I said, this is snow up about 4,000 feet. So it snowed within about 5,000 feet of Boston yesterday, up in the sky, when it was raining down on the ground. Elevation plays a role, doesn't it? Merry Christmas. I hope you're having as joyous a day as you can. I know it's really challenging with the stresses and remembering people we don't have anymore, but we'll just try and find the beauty wherever you can, and smile and say hello and offer kindness. Kindness, find kind, love, and joy. Talk to you tomorrow. Fog has come into Boston already. You can barely make out the buildings. I think we might need our windshield wipers here in a few minutes. Very low tide as the sun goes down on Christmas Eve. 46 degrees. Day one of about a 6-day thaw. That's the life. You get walked across the street on your belly. Sure enough, it's precipitating, but the snow level's probably about 4,000 feet over our head. Christmas Eve. So close. Just 4,000 feet up, it's snowing. My favorite part of the season. Precipitation. Rain though. 47 degrees. It went up a degree. It's going the wrong way. So are we. No rain in the North Shore in Beverly. Almost in Beverly. Actually, not sure where we are. Either way, they get to spare it. Love to spare it. I think we're in Beverly now. Going to see the Hills of Beverly. Yeah, that's her name. The Hills. Nice hill. All right, that's it. Checking out. Sun's going down. Merry Christmas. And that's it. Going back south now. Almost midnight. Santa Claus is probably coming across our side of the Atlantic. Day ending as it started with a reflection off of the water of the sky, of a beautiful sky with Jupiter and the moon over Fallon's Pond, and the Patriots and the Broncos tied up with 2 minutes left. Not sure how it ended. And more and more and more.